Okay, guys, here we are. We're finally at the stage where I'm ready to review this guy, and this is Virtuoz by Magi Factory. It's been really unique process getting to know this thing, because it's one of those things where it sounds almost too good to be true, and in a weird way, it's not. And in some ways, it is. But we're going to get into that here. I'm going to show you again what's in the box here, even though we had the unboxing before, but a little bit quicker. And we're going to go into what is the nitty-gritty, what's the good things I found, what's the shit things I found about this particular product. So far, though, I will say it's pretty killer. If you want, of course, to skip all this and claim 10% off your Virtuoz through Illusionist, I believe they are the unique extra carrier for this, you can go ahead and use the link here, or you can use the one in the description or the coupon code JAKOB10, and you'll get that off your entire order at Illusionist. That's a whopping 29 bucks, I believe. So take to your shipping and then some. So that being said, let's roll that intro and get right into it. Okay, so Virtuoz, guys, this has been really something unique. I've only had it for less than a week, but I have taken it out, used it in different ways, and I've come up with some really cool stuff too that I'm gonna share with you that I think you're gonna genuinely really like. Because what's cool about this is, and I'll be honest with you, I'm gonna show you a way too that if you're somebody that maybe this isn't for you, but the app clip center, for example, where it's like, boom, you hit an NFC tag and then it loads on the Virtuoz app clip and everything on there, like this thing does, which is super, super neat. I might pull up some phone stuff and show you some real-time stuff here, but, you know, if that's something that interests you, I'm going to show you a actual free way to do it that I thought about a while back, and it's super good, and I know you're going to love it. But in the meantime, let's go ahead here and just do a quick look inside the box again, because we want to make sure that, you know, this is everyone's on the same page, even seen the last video. So my box has already been opened. If you want to see the unboxing video, I'll make that link appear here, and you can watch that if you choose to be a little more in depth. But inside the box, and let me get a little bit closer here if I can. I guess I can't. Inside the box, we're going to have our long-range NFC sticker. This thing gets a really good read at a really good distance. It's great. I will say I tried putting it just in my wallet to see if it would work, and it didn't. I haven't unstuck mine yet, but I'm trying to find the best place to put this. I'm even considering putting that actually in my phone case, so then just by bumping phones, I can easily put that on there. Hopefully that makes sense. The wrist strap, so for those of you guys that like your Hugo Shellys and your magnetic detection devices that are going to be, you know, on your wrist or here on your forearm maybe, and also that button, you can use your arm here to hit that. This is going to be able to do that pretty easily. It's a pretty wide, stretchy strap. It might be a bit too big for some of your arms if you're a little bit bulkier. I'm a pretty small dude, but this is really nice. I think the only gripe I have is getting it in and out of this thing is a pain in the ass. But you're not going to break this thing, which gets us to our main gimmick here. You're not going to break it. It's got metal all around here. The button's are really nice plastic here. You can remove the back and actually change out the rechargeable batteries. It's got a USB-C port here. Charges really well, and it's got a good, healthy vibrate to it. So let's see if we can get that sound-wise. Maybe you heard it, maybe you didn't, but I'll show you in the app how you can actually customize the vibration for this. And it's, again, it's pretty small. It can fit into a finger palm really easily. So if you want to do magnetic detection stuff, you just want to keep it in one of your hands and just do one of these, the old Darren thing. You can do that easily. Super simple. And for size comparison here, let me get this. I'll show you guys why I have this out here in a minute. This is a magnetic Morgan dollar, but you can see here the size. It's a little bit, you know, easier to palm than, say, a normal US dollar size coin. And this will be important again later. We'll come back to that. But because that's going to be the affordable, a super affordable magnetic coin that you can get in 2 days, and you're going to love me for it. But this thing is the main shebang. We'll be getting into that. And the other thing that's not really talked about in the box, but this is super cool. It's a double-sided NFC tag. So one can write to this side, one can write to this side. So on this side, I've got the whole app clips, Virtuoz app library, and all that on here. And I'll show you that here in a second too. We'll actually load up, screen share my phone, and do all that. But before that, again, if this is something that interests you and you want to just go ahead and just say, screw it, I don't need to see the run through the app, even though we are going to go into our Light, we are going to go into our Touch. I'll mention about the few of the other apps I don't own yet. I know they have one app coming here soon that looks like it's going to be killer, but I don't know much about it. And then some shortcuts too, and I'll go ahead and provide some shortcuts down below here for you that I think you'll utilize, really love. They're kind of gags, but they're really good gags. And shortcuts, just little known things by magicians, and they're super simple to do. So let me go ahead and quickly get my phone down here, and we'll move on to the next bit and showcase basically what this thing's all about. Let's go ahead here and bring up the good old iPhone. So you can see that we have the iPhone pulled up here, and I'm going to try and show you kind of from scratch what's going on, right? So here's our tag up near the top, basically where you hit for boom, you can see it reacts right away. Now, in this case, it's going to open Virtuoz, just the app itself, because I've got the app installed on here versus installing the app clip on a phone. But what this would normally do is this would basically put on an app clip on their phone that would bring up something like this. Let's go ahead and copy that link. So this is also if you want to avoid the NFC thing and you're dealing with somebody that doesn't have their stuff turned on, which I should mention, this is a great pro tip I found out. To find out if someone has NFC or not on, ask them, do you use Apple Pay? And if they look at you and go, no, I don't, or I don't have it set up, then you just go and say, oh, well, there's this great savings account thing. I talk about that because I have an interest in finance and business and everything, so I'll talk about something like that, or something about Apple Pay, or did you know you can put your ID on there, whatever you might, say or do to kind of steer this conversation away. But if they have Apple Pay on, they technically should have NFC on too. Not always the case, but it's a good indication of whether or not this is going to work. Now I'm going to show you there's multiple ways. You can see mine's already connected right there. Boom. When I touch it, it does its thing. And you can see here I can actually adjust the vibration, so I won't up really high. Which, let me see. So hit test vibration and keep up towards the mic. You can see it's quite loud when it does that. Or we can turn it quite soft down here to 19, for example, and you can barely hear it. And you can feel the different vibrations. I keep mine generally in the 60 range because I've got this generally in my pocket. And the thing is, with sound dampening is going to help. You can actually also do 1 long, 2 longs. You can test it and really refine it. On the magnetometer mode, you have the same thing, 2 short, 1 long. And you can also have it too, which is really neato. So let's say, for example, you wanted this, and you could have your phone vibrate too. So you say you didn't want it to vibrate on your wrist, like you've got attached to detect things we don't want to vibrate. You can basically set it to just phone, or just the gimmick itself, or you can set it to phone and gimmick to vibrate, which is pretty darn cool. And you can see there that that's very, and it's actually picking up on magnet here. So you'll see, this is the other thing I'll mention, the magnet detection. So I've got this magnetic coin, and it's extra strength, really good looking magnetic coin. So you can hear my phone's going off of it right now. But this thing is really sensitive. So look, you can see on the animation here when it goes off. So right there, on a closed fist, it can detect it from pretty good distance. Like that's, and you get up on that thing, it's really detecting it. So the magnetometer in it is really good. And if you want one of these magnetic coins, which I'll be honest with you guys, you want a smart thing. This is why I bought this. I bought this because I'm going to use this to learn and master Timon Krause's Witch Hand effect, which uses no gimmicks or anything. But with this, you can basically have a little insurance policy when learning that effect and developing it. But it's pretty dependent on having like a dollar size coin. Plus, from stage, that thing shines, it's visible, really useful. But I'll go ahead and include the link down below. There's an Amazon link for this. It is an affiliate link, so don't everyone get butthurt. But you know, it's basically will link you to a super cheap, super quick coming to you magnetic dollar coin that is this guy, and I love this thing. This is great. No one's the wiser. No one is the wiser at all. So anyway, moving on. Let's look at again here. If we look back into if we look into the settings in general here, we've got a ton of things in the App Clip Center. So we can prepare an NFC tag if we want to write it. We just take this guy at Prepare NFC, and it'll be ready to scan and go in there. We can generate a QR code if we want to, and save the image or whatever, or send it to people. There's a manual entry link, which this is really cool because ertyu.fr is a great URL because ERTYU are all next to each other in the top block of a standard, what's it called? A standard keyboard. And then you have .fr and then just your unique code right here. I wish they would allow this to be, basically, I wish they would allow me to choose my own code, but there's, you can't win them all. That being said, it also has a redirection feature, so I can redirect to whatever page I want to. So let's say that you wanted to have kind of like what you do in, what's it called? Kind of like what you do in your earworm routine, where earworm links to Wikitest and goes into each other seamlessly. You could say have this open up their Wikipedia page. So actually, I'm going to show you something else first, and then instead activate Virtuoz, and what it will do is it'll redirect the page to your Wikitest page, to your whatever. So that's super neato in my opinion. But I just keep it at Google for now because I'm still getting used to everything and figuring things out. We have RLite in here under our app clips. You can see I have RLite, I have RTouch, I have Virtuoz. I don't have RDigit. I don't own Overlaid. I've heard they're great. Probably going to pick them up. And this Transpose is apparently just the absolute best coming here soon, I've heard. And you see I've got a bunch of other ones here. So Notify, which is a new one I'll be talking about shortly. So if you like Notarized by Thoughtcast Magic and Theory 11, this thing is that, but without the app clips. It's just purely from their Notes app. You're able to send and transmit, basically, at this point, any kind of text or anything, which is super cool, and it kills itself afterwards. I'll be making a review for that later. I'm just not playing it with myself. It's killer so far, though. It's actually mind-blowing. And then I've got other things in here like my inject, my notarize. So anything that's an app clip, you can also install the URL in there and do that clip, an acronym in there, even though I don't really need acronym in there. I've got it. And you can also move them around. So acronym I don't really need, but it's a good reminder if I ever forget. It's at the bottom. I've got my topics, activation code. I've got a few shortcuts here that are super, super fun. And my favorite Google prank, which I use as an NFC anyway. This is something I got from Mark Lemon. But you can see here how convenient this really is. And the app itself is well laid out. You can see they have, of course, compatible apps. These are all their apps that are compatible. Hopefully they'll add more into the list here soon, even though all apps are really compatible with this, as long as there's a URL or whatever involved. So hopefully that answers things. Then just here, it's just, other things, access to the secret group, which I highly recommend. The group's a little low right now because I don't think a lot of people have adopted this yet. Hopefully this video changes that because it really is absolutely phenomenal. But let's say we want to go in here and let's grab the manual entry link. So I'll copy that, and then let's go to, say we're going to put this on someone's phone, right? So this, we could either enter in this URL, or we could scan from the NFC like before, or we can even put the NFC on the put the URL on the NFC, and that kind of fixes all of it for me. I don't know why it's not just the way. Do you really need the Virtuoz app clip on here? I guess you do, because it helps link to other effects if you want to do that. But if you want to do a one and done or whatever, and not have to worry about something killing itself at the end, which this does solve that. With a long press, it kills the app clips to all the connected phones easily and effectively. So there's nothing really left to find. Still got that magnetometer mode here. Turn that off. So one. Yep, one long press, and now I'm out of magnetometer mode. So, pressing it once, you get a vibration, hold it down, you'll get 2 vibrations that switch between magnetometer and app mode. So now it's back in app mode, so it's not going crazy when it's around anything magnetic. But let's say you want to do R-Lite. So I'd go in here and click R-Lite. Yep, it's going to ask you to install the app clip. You just do that on your spectator's phone, and this is what R-Lite essentially looks like. So in each one of these, so if I have travel, for example, you can see this uses 2 phones, and you can see the demo video in your 2. So if you want to see the demo video of what travel looks like, I can go in here and just click that. It'll open up a video and show basically this. So clicking that, we can see what the effect looks like, get an idea for the right timing, and it's already built out exactly pretty much as shown in this video, unless it's an idea thing like the strobes or the tempo thing. But we can see what travel looks like. This is the main routine that all of us are probably going to buy this for, let's be honest. And it's so good that it's got me to do something that I would never expect myself to do, and that is buying fudging delights. I bought delights, the white delights with the sound effects in them, because I want to do this so bad. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm a little bit ashamed of myself, but I'm also, it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. It's gonna kill my inner, more pretentious magician in me that's like, delights, really? Why? Who the hell uses delights? But at the same time, it's gonna be super useful. So you can see that here. Almost every one of them have it. So your card prediction, we have a long press that. We can see what the demo video is for that. And, thinking about using this as a card effect or using this in psychometry, if we're doing this instrumentalism kind of flavor, that really works well. And you can see here for this, he deals and then gets to a certain point. This is also on Lumen, I believe, but it's a simplified thing on Lumen. Doesn't have all the app clips and everything, but boom, you can see that there. So there's cool effects already built into this. Jump is the easiest one because you're just using you don't even need the button really. You're just using the triggers on the phone, which is an important thing to bring up. You can still trigger all of the stuff in the traditional method that us shortcuts users that have been adapted to this are used to, which is going to be the volume up button. You can still do all that. But with the remote, we can trigger things much, much easier. And it will also vibrate to tell you timing for everything. So let's say contact here. Let's go ahead in to edit mode and look what this looks like. So it's got 4 steps. And you see because it's blue, it's on the spectator's phone, right? And it's on a spectator's phone. It says so right here. So when we press the button once, it's going to wait 4 seconds, and then it's going to flash 6 times. And then it's going to turn off, and that's linked to go to the next action so that when after it does that, it's going to wait 4 seconds, and then you put your hand down on it, and then it's going to come on. Now, it's not going to timed when you put your hand down on it. You have to time it yourself, and then 2 seconds on, and then it's going to turn off, and that's when you lift your hand up timing-wise. That links to the next action. 2 seconds, and then it's going to come on, and then 2 seconds, it come off. So you have that hand thing again. And then finally, down to here, it's going to basically wait 0 seconds and turn off, and all that fun stuff. So, and you can add steps in here. It's just building these. So if you want to build one from scratch, you just go down here and you can add a new step. You have all these options on here. I won't bore you with all the details, but you can really customize the living crap out of this thing and have this button do a lot of different functions. So really cool. But my favorite thing I think is this, that when you activate something, so let's say we activated jump down here. When you click, boom. You can't see it on my phone because actually it's on here, but it goes to a black screen. It makes the lock screen sound, which is great. And then I guess I don't know how to do that on this. So it's going to be 2 finger swipes down that basically bring it back. So I'm going to have to actually get off of this and then go back in because I don't know how to do this on the screen projection. So you're going to have to pardon me here just 1 awkward second. Okay, so we're back and I managed to save it. But the same thing with all of their apps. They're all very buildable and customizable, so you can really build a lot of stuff, or you can just use traditionally what's in here. Settings-wise, you can set the opacity of a spectator's phone. It gives you example, lock screen sound, all this kind of stuff is in here. Same kind of thing on preparing NFC tags and generating QR codes. You can import routines. So as people are going to build, we can actually build and share our routines among each other in the Facebook group and among each other when we're out and about. So that's super cool. I love that function. And then here we have goes back to like the Virtuoz settings and all that. So let me go back to that. And then finally, here's just all our info and everything here. And I'll be honest with you, the R-Touch one is not much different here. So let's go ahead back. I think that, yep, it's redirected. So you can see the redirect actually works perfectly. It's redirecting me to the Google page. So let's go in here and then hit that back in. And boom, we're back in here. So if I want to do my inject, I can just button click and I am immediately taken to my inject page, which is great. So I've got that in here as well. Let's see if I can go back without it redirecting. Yep, it's just going to redirect. This is really great for inject because inject redirects to Google anyway. So now it's going to always redirect back to Google. So this fixes one of the biggest issues I have with inject when they go back, and it doesn't go to the right thing. Now it looks like you start on Google, you did a search, you're on the search page, so just go search page back to Google. Versus normally it's back to, something a bit weird with the redirect. I've noticed this before, so it's kind of fixes a problem I've had too, which I really like. But again, going back into app clips, same thing. If we want to go in here and do notarized, we are directed to the notarized thing, and we can open the app clip on the spectator's phone and do all of our normal stuff, which is pretty sick. Go back. Actually, I have to keep entering this in each time because the redirect works really well. And same thing with R-Touch. If we open that up, I'll click it. Again, it would be an app clip normally. And this is basically allows you some unique PK touches effects. So for those of you guys that have utilized the Rise gimmick at all by Illusionist and Peter Turner, this can do that function, but actually buzz either their phone or the device. Now, here's something that I haven't seen a lot of people talk about. If we adapted this and added on a hook coin component to it, so hook coin being a coin that's hooks on it, just can hang on generally most fabrics. If we could develop that for this, where you can just take it, or even adhesive, and place it on our spectator's shoulders, this thing can vibrate and provide the taps that I think is far more deceptive in the phone, and you can control the vibrations and everything with the phone. In the same way we did in the last time, you can see here that we can actually, so long press, we go into edit, we can again set our settings and everything so that we can do some really incredible PK touches stuff without any the traditional contact or anything. And people are going to basically not be able to explain this if this is the thing vibrating. If it's their phone, it kind of makes sense. You can still get a cleanup in the traditional, lift, Peter Turner kind of handling. If you were to have this thing vibrate on someone's leg, for those of you that get it, you can do the foot touch thing at the end, but different. With this instead, just putting a vibrating phone on someone's leg and say, oh, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, with this, you could technically stick it on their back and it vibrates and all that stuff. And at some point, you just come by, collect it up and all that stuff. And then finally, they get the point and you get all the stuff. So anyway, even though this is more of, I think, a experimental idea than a fully fleshed out one, I think that is the answer, because I think it's such a strong vibrate and feeling to it. If you just stuck it on him, it's impossible to, not feel that vibration. So there's a lot that could be done here. So you guys, I've been rambling on for a while, and I've really went in depth with this because it's so freaking nuts what all this thing can do. And I want to mention too that in the Facebook group, Chris Torrance himself has been super responsive so far, even though the group's not, tremendous just yet. One of the things I really did notice was that he did say, so let me find the Virtuoz, because I'm gonna hold you to this, Chris. If you watch this, I'm holding you to it, Bubby. You just wait now. But if we go to, where's that comment? I have put a comment on here, basically saying, which let me make sure I'm gonna hit the right button here. Yep. Here we go. So, is there a way to set up the Virtuoz remote to replace a Bluetooth remote in shortcuts like Devious by Mark Lemon? And you can see, there was a comment on this. I don't know where they all went, but he did comment on here, I swear, saying that this is something they're working on, which worries me because he's taken off the comment by the look of it, but he did make that comment. So Chris, I'm holding you to it, boss. Make this thing work so I don't have to carry the volume up Bluetooth remote for my various other things, and make it all in one system. And great, because this thing's got Bluetooth 5.0. It's great. It's amazing. I don't know anything that's Bluetooth 5.0, but if they do that, this will be absolutely even more explosive than it already is. So, all that being said, we're kind of at the end here, and this has been a really long, laborious review. You can see the lights kind of changed outside since we started, and I wanted to make sure I went really in depth here, because with new technology, guys, it's always scary. You never know whether you should adopt it or not, and with this guy, I would say definitely adopt it and get on it soon, because it's actually pretty damn perfect out the gate. I think the only thing they need to fix is, one, this should be inside of this, in my opinion, which you could just literally blue tack it on the back, so that way it's an all-in-one solution. Just my thinking. And then the other side of things, it should have the Bluetooth up and down function, volume function too, even though it doesn't, and I'm hoping they add that because they said they would, which I'm hoping, because they delete those comments, that that's not something that they're actually trying to retract. But that being said, if you want 10% off this sucker, it's a whopping $29, and your entire order off of Illusionist, which is the main carrier of this guy right here, or get it from the original guys at Magi Factory. They seem great. They're French. They're amazing. You can basically use this link right here, or use the coupon code down in the description, where I also will have the link to this guy, the coin I was showing you. This is a highly potent magnet tucked into a very realistic looking Morgan, and that way you can do your witch hand effects. I'll keep you guys updated on what I find about this. I'm sure this is not going to be the first thing we invest in. I've invested in a couple things in Magi Factory and been super satisfied, and I'm really considering buying their other apps, because things like Transpose that's coming out looks like it's going to be amazing. R-Digit looks killer. And of course, you know, what's the other one? Whatever the other one is with David Penn looks amazing too. So, that being said, that's all I've got for you this time. I'll see you in the next one, and cheers.